So last week, Microsoft chief Satya Nadella learned the hard way why "Are you sure" notification is such an integral part of Windows. Well, he didn't say anything wrong per se. Many applauded his remarks and reminded Indian corporate leaders to speak up like Satya. But you know what? A bunch of Indian politicians had a system crash anyway. Speaking of system crashes, we have some bad news. Well, bad news for 27% of Windows users. Yes, we are talking about you, the Windows 7 users of the world, which includes me. From 14 January, Windows 7 will stop receiving software updates for good. Now look, I'm the kind of person who is a bit conservative when it comes to trying out new things. Yes, I know I'm the tech guy at Hop, but when it comes to operating systems, I've been a bit hesitant about shifting from Windows 7 to Windows 10. When Microsoft was trying to shove Windows 10 down people's throats for free, even for pirated users way back when the new OS just started to roll out, I decided to wait for a bit because I saw what a disaster Windows 8 was. Crap! And like what other users had to complain about it, so I didn't want to jump ship. After all, if it ain't broke, why fix it? My current office laptop still has Windows 7 and my OG mothership, the Sony Vaio Series E that my dad got me like a decade ago, can still fly and run Premiere Pro without any issues. But all of the waiting and procrastinating has finally bit me in my posterior because getting a new version of Windows is no longer free and I have to shell out like 10 grand if I want to get it from Microsoft Store. So why did I wait so long? And more importantly, what does it mean for people like me after Windows has finally ended support for more than a decade-old operating system? Well, let's go on a nostalgia trip together. Now, Microsoft is known to release a crappy operating system version between two extremely good versions, keeping aside the Windows 95 and 98. Check it out, right? Microsoft decided to launch Windows ME after Windows 98 and before XP, two of which were the most innovative and revolutionary operating systems ever. Same was the case with Vista, which was sandwiched between XP and Windows 7, and Windows 8, which was launched between Windows 7 and Windows 10. You get my point? Now, while I was growing up, I got used to skipping a crappy version of Windows, especially when I saw my friends and family nag about terrible crashes and bugs of these versions. Windows 7 is also extremely stable, reliable, and mature, a quality that many people find alluring while using an operating system they boot up like every single day. But that's not it. Several people have actually stuck on to the Windows 7 operating system. According to some surveys, as many as 27% of Windows users are still stuck on to Windows 7, which is actually a pretty big deal. Now, it's not like Windows 7 is going to die. It will still work. It will just stop receiving feature updates and, most importantly, security updates, which is really important if, I don't know, you want to use the internet. And the Windows 7 OS would also not have extra security features like Device Guard, UEFI Secure Boot, or a security standard that makes sure a device boots using only the software that is trusted by an OEM or like an original equipment manufacturer, and also Windows Hello. Now, another con of still using Windows 7 is higher boot up times. Windows 7 devices average around 38 seconds to get up and running, while Windows 10 devices can do the same within just 26 seconds. Now, future-proofing is another issue, as software makers and even hardware makers will stop making products that support Windows 7. Now, you can opt in for this thing called extended security updates for Windows, but these are only for businesses that are still running Windows 7 computers past the deadline until 2023. But it is available at a substantial fee, much higher than a new Windows 10 operating system, and it is only available to enterprise users. So, I hate to break it to you guys, but just get a new version of Windows 10 already.